I just think men are a different breed.
Completely.
They're just like, the way they think, the way they are.
I would look at my husband and just think, why did I marry you?
Yeah.
You know, that spark was gone. That connection between us was gone. Then you find out a venue alone is 30K.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That was a
you're
shock.
like, oh wait. But then Google
Yeah.
said to me, my average wedding cost is £30,000.
Love is such a beautiful thing. It really is.
There's been moments where I ask myself, am I doing the right thing? Or even before I send that message, I'm checking, should I send this? Should I not? Or if I want to do something, I'm questioning myself whether I should do it or not. And then I do that, I send that message and then it works in my favor. So it's just always believing in yourself, trusting in yourself.
If you want to get to the places that you really want to be at, you're not going to be able to do that in your comfort zone, essentially. You need to step out. You need to be willing to put yourself out there. And I think I always say this, but the thought of doing something most times is a lot worse than the reality of doing it. Like, you're actually that girl. Love real women stories that help you grow. Hit subscribe and follow, and let's level up together. Now back to the episode. Welcome. This is the Paula Oyinka Show, where our mission is to inspire you to be the best version of yourself at every stage of life. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by the amazing Tobi Yusuf, who is the founder of Riah Events and Weddings, and she's also the convener of Love Connect. She's planned events for the likes of Steph London and Rita Dominic, and she does that all whilst juggling being a wife and also being a mother of 3. So, Tobi, I'm excited to have this conversation with you today. But before we get into it, you're going to pick a card from our conversation card deck.
Okay. How do you view the intersection of personal identity and professional identity? This is actually a good one because I've been battling with my personal brand and the business.
Yeah.
Because there's some things that I would like to share on my business, but then I feel like it's too personal. So now I'm trying to, have a separate personal identity, that really talks about and that shows who I am as Tobi. But then also on the business side, I'm not taking away who Tobi is, but it's more professional, if you get what I mean. So like on the personal side, I'm showing how vulnerable I can be, how emotional I can be, whereby, with my business, I can't, you can show what vulnerability is, but I'm not showing all of that, like, who I am behind the camera, behind the scenes and all of that. I'm not bringing too much of that into my business. So that's the way I view it.
So why do you feel like you can't bring it into your business, or you just try and bring it in slightly?
Slightly, I would say, not show everything completely. So for me, yes, the business is events and weddings. I mostly started doing weddings. That's, what I was passionate about. And from the weddings, I've met lots of people. And I love relationship. I love love. So that's who I am as a person. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about marriages. I want to talk about love. But I just feel like I don't want to be talking about that on my business page. Like, I just want to focus on talking about planning weddings, planning events. So that's what I mean by, I don't want to bring all of that into the business.
Yeah. And is that why you started Love Connect? I was actually going to ask you to say who you are in your own words, but I feel like we're just going straight into it.
Yeah.
But is that why you started Love Connect?
That's why I started Love Connect, yeah. Because I just felt that deep need to just talk about relationship, have an open space where people can just have safe conversations. And so that's one of the main reasons why I started Love Connect, to just create an atmosphere for safe conversations.
And what is Love Connect?
So Love Connect, well, the goal for Love Connect is to build a community where couples or anyone in a relationship can gather together and have conversations, open conversations, nothing to shy away from, and just come and learn from each other. That's what the goal of Love Connect is going to be. or should I say the goal of Love Connect is.
I love that because I do feel like there needs to be a space where you can have candid conversations about the realities of being a couple. And I was going to kind of touch on all of this at the end, but
No.
I thought since we're already talking about Love Connect, let's just talk about it, relationships and marriage. So how long have you been married for?
12 years.
Wow.
It will be 13 years.
Yeah.
March.
Well, congratulations for starters because even 1 year it's hard.
Thank you.
But how have you found marriage in these 12 years? Because you did a video recently as well about like the different stages. And could you share that with us?
Oh God, marriage, it's a roller coaster. And that's what I try to tell my client as well, that the wedding day is just a day of saying your vows and whatnot. But the life after the wedding is what you need to be prepared for. You know, for marriage, like I said, it's a roller coaster journey. And we started in the honeymoon phase of loving each other. And then the dynamics just changed. Children came in and things just kind of shifted.
Yeah.
I felt like the attention was more on the children. And I just felt like I was being unappreciated. I was undervalued. I just we couldn't understand each other. So, it's been a lot, but it's all about commitment. It's all about that determination that, I'm in here for a reason, and just focusing on that and just pushing through.
Yeah, I really agree with that because I feel like children, like you said, it massively changes the dynamic. And when you have kids, you just don't have time to do a lot of stuff outside of the kids. But I feel like that's the time when you really need to be a lot more intentional about the marriage.
Yeah.
And I would love to ask if you could go back to like the day before your wedding day, what advice would you give yourself?
The day before my wedding day would just be to relax. Just chill. Don't stress too much about the day. And that's what I use now as well for any event and planning. And that's what I try to tell my clients as well. Just relax.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is another day. That day of that wedding, it's going to come and then it's going to go. Again, like I said, it's the life after the wedding.
It's true.
So it's just about relaxing and just not worry too much about every detail of the event. I know that a lot of couples want, they want this, they want that, they want this to be perfect. But I always say that you can never really have, maybe let me not say never, but you can almost not have a perfect wedding day, So just relax and chill for whatever is going on or what not going on. Just enjoy that moment, live in that moment.
I love that. And what about like a marital piece of advice? Before you've stepped into it, you're mainly focused on the wedding, but you don't know that actually in 12 years' time, this is what you would have done differently or thought about.
Should I say trust the process in your relationship? Just live by it, to be honest. But again, like I said earlier, it's about the determination and the commitment to that relationship. So once you have that, then you just keep going, knowing that there's a better tomorrow for you and your partner.
It's so true. And I feel like it's that commitment piece is a big thing for sure because I think it was a church sermon that I was listening to, and he was basically saying something like, when you get married, you're not getting married because you love each other now. You're getting married because you agree to love each other even in the future. And that really changed my perspective on certain things because it is true. And I do think, especially as little girls, when you're growing up, you dream about your wedding. And I knew I wanted burgundy and champagne color, which I didn't even have in the end. But I knew that that's what I wanted. But as I got older, certain things just changed for me. Even the size of the wedding I wanted something a lot more intimate because I wanted people there who I felt would kind of speak life into my marriage, because I do feel like it's actually a very intimate thing when you think about it. So yeah, I think the commitment thing is a very important piece that a lot of people forget often.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you've experienced at different stages of marriage? Because you said marriage is hard. And it is, I think sometimes people are like, oh, marriage is perfect, it's this, it's that. But I think dealing with people generally, it's not the easiest thing. So what would you say have been some challenges that you faced that are quite common as well from what you've seen? And how did you manage to overcome them?
Oh gosh, well, I've experienced quite a few. But I think the most common one would be the communication, like not communicating clearly to my husband, just assuming that he's in my head, he's in my mind. So I think that's, because a lot of time I'm just there upset, but not speaking out my mind to him, because I'm just there like thinking, why do you not see that I'm upset? Or why do you not see that something's gone wrong?
Yeah.
But, it took me a while to understand that I just needed to communicate. The way he's thinking is different from the way I'm thinking. He sees things differently from the way I see things. So the biggest challenge is communication.
Yeah.
That's the
Gosh, yeah. Do you know what? I just think men are a different breed.
completely.
They're just like the way they think, the way they are. But it's funny that you say that because for me, I feel like I'm quite expressive because if I'm not happy about something, I'll let my husband know about it. And he is the kind of person, he will hold things in, but it's very obvious to me that he's not happy with something if we're like not on a good page with something.
Yeah.
But I still think it is that communication thing. And
Yeah.
I do wonder because I think men and women definitely think differently, but I think just dealing with people again, generally, communication is so key, especially when you live with that person, when you're literally doing life with that person. Communication is essential.
Yeah.
So, how did you know that your man was the one?
Oh gosh, Hade. Well, I'd say Hade now, but I call him my lord now. How did I know he was the one? To be honest, I think it was from the very first conversation that we had. We met at a party and then we are just speaking at the balcony. But it was just very easy flowing conversation. It was just very easy to talk to. And following on from that conversation when we met, there was just this peace within me. I can't explain it, but I just felt at peace just being around him, being with him. And I think it was just that moment I just knew. I mean, yeah, I knew that I was in love with him. I didn't know that, I wasn't thinking about the future, but I just knew that at that moment, I just wanted to be with this person. So yeah, it was just peace within.
Love is such a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah.
But I feel like, when people say, oh, when you know, you know. And I genuinely do believe that. Like, because I think with my husband, when I met him and when we had the conversations, he's the only person I've ever felt like, wow, this really could be something serious. And I've never felt that way about anyone else before. But it was in that moment where like I genuinely just knew. And it's hard to say like, well, what exactly is it about him? It was just like, I just knew, it's that feeling.
You can't really pinpoint what it
No,
is,
you
but it's just a deep feeling. That's all there is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to kind of like Riah events. So how long have you been running Riah events for?
I would say since I had my first daughter, so which is about 9 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how did that come about?
To be honest, it came about from just trying to figure out what I'm passionate about. So I'm a woman of faith. I'm a Christian. I go to church. We have programs in church, and the man of God, the pastor, was preaching one day and talking about how Christians, how we need to be employers of labor. And then we were talking about writing out your passion, and I was just really one day just thinking, what am I passionate about? What do I see myself doing on a regular basis? And then it took me back to, thinking about how my friends, my family, if anybody wants to have an event, birthday party, anything, I'm just always at the forefront, looking for venues, looking for ideas. I'm just always getting up to help. And even not just with planning event or doing anything, but I'm just always very eager to help people no matter what. So that's how we just kind of started. And, I just started looking into how to become an event planner. Because even for my wedding, I didn't even know about wedding planners. I didn't know I could hire a wedding planner.
Yeah.
But I was just doing it for myself. And then after that, I just started realizing, okay, this is something. I then started researching, finding out how to be a wedding planner. So I was just really looking into being a wedding planner, not necessarily an event planner. But that's just kind of how we started.
Yeah. And when you like look back on your childhood, because one thing I've realized, a lot of the time there's like signs of your interest in childhood. Do you feel like that's the case for you?
Yeah, I would say that. So I'm from a family of 8.
Okay.
And I'm the last child
Oh,
in that family
wow.
of 8.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
so you can imagine like having 7 siblings. There's been, different events, different things
Yeah.
happening. And from that big family as well, we're very like neat, close family. Like even like with my cousins, we're always together. So there's always one celebration after the other. And like I said, I'm just that person that would always, love to gather people together, tell people, let's come together, let's do this. That's always been me. Like, from secondary school as well, I've always been that person that just wants to help.
Yeah.
Like, just putting things together. It's just always been me right from then.
I love it. And I think it's nice because, when do you feel like you're walking in your purpose in terms of what you're doing?
At first, with wedding planning an event, I wasn't really too sure. But from the wedding planning and from the pain point of my relationship in my marriage, leading on to Love Connect, now I really feel like I'm working on my purpose.
Yeah.
So that's just now, I would say about a year ago is when I feel like, okay, this is me.
Yeah.
This is what God has called me to do.
That.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, your events, they're honestly stunning. The venues, like,
Thank you.
I literally went to Ade's 40th, the
Oh, yeah.
bride's birthday.
Yeah.
And even like when we got to the venue, the way the gates open, I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, this is so good. So little things like that, it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see. And obviously I mentioned that you've done events for like Steph London and Rita Dominic. How did those opportunities come about?
So Steph London's one was through Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, it was through her PA. I just posted a birthday reel of myself. And then like 30 minutes later, I just got that message. I think it was a message on my WhatsApp, from my PA. And she said she just found me on Instagram.
Oh, no.
So that's kind of like how it came about.
Yeah.
Richard Dominic was through recommendation.
Okay.
Through my husband, and again on Instagram as well. So that's
Nice.
that's
So
kind of
be on Instagram, basically.
there. I'm trying to push myself more on Instagram.
Yeah. No. And how did you find like the planning of those events? Did you feel a lot of
Oh
pressure?
gosh, it was intense. It was really intense. Yeah, a lot of pressure because, well, for what I mean, Rita Dominic's wasn't like last minute, but Steph London's one was like, I think 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And
it was quite a big event.
it was a
wasn't
big one. It was
Wow.
over 800 guests. So it was a big one. So it was quite intense. A lot of pressure, trying to meet up with deadlines, and also, working with celebrities because they're very busy.
Yeah.
So you've got to work with their schedules. So it meant late night.
Yeah.
A lot of late nights leading into early mornings conversations.
Oh,
But yeah.
gosh. Did you do it on your own or do you have a team?
To be honest, I would say I'm doing it on my own right now.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm trying to build up a team now. I mean, on the day of event, when I need people to assist, I do get help. But in terms of everything before the event, it's all on my own.
Wow.
Yeah.
An event for 800 people in 6 weeks.
Oh gosh,
by
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Gee,
Yeah.
oh my God. What has been some of like the biggest lessons that you've learned from working with celebrities, even just generally with events?
Oh gosh, just believe in yourself. Yeah, I would say just believe in yourself. Because there's been moments where I ask myself, am I doing the right thing? Or even before I send that message, I'm checking, should I send this? Should I not? Or if I want to do something, I'm questioning myself whether I should do it or not. And then I do that, I send that message and then it works in my favor. So it's just always believing in yourself, trusting in yourself that, you are who you are and what you're doing it for a reason. And you're doing it because it's part of you. It's a skill that you have. So just do it.
But how do you get to that point where you're like, just do it? Because I feel like the doubts that you've mentioned, a lot of people do experience them, especially as women. I feel like it's almost imposter syndrome. But how do you get to a place where you're just like, do you know what, I'm just going to send it?
Well, I'm in that place right now.
Okay.
I'm in that place right now and I'm just like, you know what? like, what's the worst that can happen if I don't do
Yeah.
it? That's what I just say to myself. Like, people are gonna laugh, or they're just gonna message me and say something bad. But how is it gonna affect me?
It's
As long as
true.
I know that what I'm doing is for a purpose, and and as long as I know that what I'm doing is in line with my purpose, and I'm happy with it, I've got that conviction in me that I should be doing what I'm doing, then I'm not bothered. I'm just gonna get out there and just do it. Just do it in faith.
I really
That's the thing about me. I'm a go-getter, like, and I'm a risk taker. I like to just and I also just believe that with God anything is possible.
100%.
So that's why I just always go for whatever it is I'm doing.
I completely agree with everything that you've said. Honestly, I do think in life you have to take risks, and you have, if you want to get to the places that you really want to be at, you're not going to be able to do that in your comfort zone. Essentially, you need to step out. You need to be willing to put yourself out there. And I think I always say this, but the thought of doing something most times is a lot worse than the reality of doing it. And I think we always make up all these like scenarios in our heads, but then you do it and you're just like, oh, I should have just done that sooner, It's like, what was all that about?
I agree. So like you mentioned about my husband's birthday, so I just had that idea to do a 40 days challenge for him. And then I just randomly put it on Instagram that, I'm going to do this and I'm going to post every day, because I really wanted to push myself, because I'm a shy person. I don't really like to put myself out there or just do things. But going back to the initial question of personal identity and professional identity, and I know that with my business, I need to be coming out more. I need to show myself more. So when that 40 days challenge came about, I thought to myself, this is a way for me to actually challenge myself as well, to come out, start doing this, and then push it into my business. So that 40 days challenge, I was like, how am I going to do this for 40 days? It meant that I was going to be posting for 40 days. And then I was thinking to myself, does it mean that I need to have makeup, my skin, and all of that?
True.
But then I was just like, who cares?
Honestly,
Most of it, there was no makeup on. I just did it. Like,
literally.
and at that moment, I just done was that chemical peel for my face, which didn't really go well with my face. So my face is currently going through a lot of changes. And then I was thinking, I don't want to show this on Instagram.
Yeah,
I was like, does it really matter?
honestly. And how many people commented?
Oh my God. Yeah.
No, this is the thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just think sometimes, and authenticity is so key. I feel like on social media, we're past the point of always wanting to be glammed up, and people just want to see something that's relatable and real. And I saw your 40 days challenge and I really liked some of the stuff. I was thinking, oh, this is great. Maybe I should do this more often. Like stuff like that. And it's relatable because we're seeing your real life, we're seeing you as you are. And authenticity is what people love the most. So I think it's really good that you push yourself to do that challenge. And what would you say are some of like the takeaways from that challenge?
Oh, like, life is to be lived. Like, I know that in relationship, you know how you said children, there's no time, and you just have to be intentional. That 40 days challenge taught me to be intentional, because a lot of the things I was like, why do we not do this? And it's just about being intentional. I know that we use the word intentional a lot, but it's just about little things. Like, there was one of the challenge where I helped him to take his bag outside because he was going to work. And when I did that for him, he really felt it. It was like, wow, that was why did you do this?
Yeah.
And I could see that how much he felt that. As much as it's such a little thing, like just taking his bag for him, but that just, he felt connected to me just by me doing that. So it's just little things like that. Like, I know that, yeah, he has work, I've got work, but it was just one day as well, I said to him, let's just go for a walk. Like, and it only took us like an hour. And that's just an hour in a day, which that 1 hour, I could have probably been using it to speak to my friend on the phone or just be on Instagram scrolling.
Yeah.
But that's just where the being intentional just comes from. So that challenge has really taught me that I have taken a lot of things for granted, that it's just all about living the moment with my partner, that it's doable.
Oh, I really
Yeah.
like that. And it's true because I think we all get so lost in like the day-to-day, the busy this, the busy that. And like you said, like you can be on social media scrolling for an hour, but you could also be doing something intentionally with someone that you love and care about. So no, I love that. And I really wanted to quickly just touch on like wedding planning. So firstly, what is the average cost of a wedding nowadays?
Well, you can't really put an average cost to it. That's the thing, because it's all like individual cost, right? But I would say right now, on average, well, see, it also depends on the number of guests, but I would say starting from £30,000,
Wow.
I would say.
Mhm.
But again, please, it could, it may not be 30,000. It depends on the number of guests. It depends on, you know, what's unique to you, what you like, what you want. But on average, for like number of 200 guests, I would say £30,000. It's on average.
Oh wow. That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Well, again, like I said, the 30K mark is for a number of guests of 200, and depending on, you know, the type of venue, the type of service that you require. So it could be lower,
Yeah.
and it could be more to 1 million. You never know.
Yeah.
But
So
I would say on
goodness.
average, that's about it.
Yeah.
From my own perspective. Yeah.
So, as a wedding planner, what is your advice to somebody who is currently planning a wedding in terms of like the best way to go about it?
Oh gosh. I would say the first thing is to really educate yourself, because I feel like I've received a lot of inquiries where people actually do not know how much things cost. So you see how you're asking me on average 30K, and I've said 30K. A lot of people will go online on Google, and Google would give them 25K, would give them 30K, and then they would think, oh yeah, great. And then when you're then contacting vendors, when you're then saying, oh, I want this venue, and then you find out a venue alone is 30K.
Yeah, that's true. That
So
was a
you're
shock.
like, oh wait. But then Google said to me, my average wedding cost is £30,000. So I think the first thing is really to kind of educate yourself on how much do these things cost for weddings, for event. And the only way to educate yourself is to hire a wedding planner.
There you go. Hire not a wedding planner, you specifically.
Yeah, because wedding planners or any planner would be able to educate you better on, you know, how much things cost, educate you about budget, and educate you about, you know, logistics of your event as well. Because a lot of people mistake that as well. They plan things, but then forget about the logistics of the day. As simple as, you know, what time should my photographer arrive?
Yeah.
If you've booked your photographer for 8 hours and you tell him to arrive at 8 a.m., 8 hours finishes at 6, it finishes at 4 p.m., right? Is your wedding finishing at 4 p.m.? So
Yeah.
it's little things like that that people do not think further into. So that's just my
As
my
someone
take on it.
who planned a wedding a few years ago, I agree. Like you forget about all those things, and then also a lot of little things come up as
Yeah.
well leading to the
Oh
day.
yeah.
So I definitely think having a wedding planner actually makes a lot of sense. But Toby, I just want to say thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on the podcast. That is
Thank
all we
you.
have time for. But are you working on anything at the moment? And how can people work with you if they want to?
Oh gosh, I'm working on a lot of things at the moment. Well, Love Connect.
Yeah.
Love Connect is going to be, like I said, it's a community, and I've got visions for it. But the long-term goal for Love Connect is to host retreat for couples, where we do like a 2 to 3 days retreat and just have workshop, dinner, comfortable setting, you know, like just fun setting for couples to come together. So that's something that is my long-term goal. It's something that I'm continuously working on. But at the moment, I'm looking into creating a course for couples or anyone in a relationship that is struggling. Anyone who feels that in their relationship, they feel disconnected, they feel undervalued, they feel unappreciated by their other half, or anyone in a relationship that feels that they've lost the spark. Because that was me at some point, you know. I would look at my husband and just think, why did I marry you?
Yeah.
You know, that spark was gone. That connection between us was gone. So anybody, any couple who is in that situation right now, I'm looking to create a course for them to just help them, you know, be better, to help them move away from that isolation, to feeling valued, to feeling appreciated, to feeling connected again. Because honestly, once you have that connection between you and your other half in your relationship, it just makes things better. So that's what I'm currently working on at the moment. And I'm just working on myself as well. I'm working on growing to be better, growing to draw closer to God. So yeah.
Oh, I love it, Toby. Thank you so much. And what are your socials as well? If someone wants to work with you.
Someone wants to work with me. So, well, I'm trying now to build a personal brand into Love Connect. So right now, well, I've got 3 social media. I've got my personal social media, which is The Riah Mum. So THERIAHMUM. And then my business page is Riah Events _wedding planner. And then I've got the Love Connect page. But then the Love Connect page, there's not much going on there. It's just when there is event, when, we have retreat going on, that's when the page will be active. But I'm mostly active on the Riah Mom and Riah Events _wedding planner. And both pages have my contact information.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Toby.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Love it.